Content warning. The following article contains spoilers for the NBC show La Brea. The second season of La Brea continues to delve into the dangerous situation of the sinkhole's survivors and the impossible rescue mission meant to save them. Fans have gotten a chance to see the next events in its gripping storylines, while also hearing some unforgettable quotes from the show's main characters. There are some memorable lines from the series that leave an impression because of the way they go against the survivors' personalities. From Mary Beth's outburst about her relationship with Lucas to Levi's false confidence in Gavin's warning, there are some quotes from the sci-fi drama show that are surprising because they contradict what viewers expect the characters to say or do. If you don't want a relationship, you got it. Mary Beth Hill. More than being a sci-fi show, La Brea is a family drama that depicts the tensions between Eve and Gavin, as well as Mary Beth and Lucas. Lucas is convinced that Mary Beth murdered his dad, her husband, in cold blood, and refuses to hear her out. Mary Beth, for her part, is relentless in following Lucas around and trying to make sure that he's safe. She wants to mend their relationship, but is soon fed up enough to declare that she's tried with him and is done doing so. It's uncharacteristic of the mother, who is soon back to being her protective self when they find themselves in a life or death situation. That's not my problem. Sam Velez. During the first few moments when Eve finds the rest of the survivors, Sam sets himself apart as a leader. The doctor puts all his energy into helping others, even when it means risking his own life to go with Eve and Ty for Josh's sake. A recent event has shaken Sam to his core, though, as he has run out of the medication that he needs for his anxiety. This change hasn't gone unnoticed, with Riley and Ty both calling him out for his erratic and even cruel behavior. This worsens after Riley's disappearance, as Sam angrily tells Ty that Para's people are not his problem, threatening to do whatever is necessary to get Silas to speak. Well, no one asked you to come. Izzy Harris. Aside from being one of the bravest characters in La Brea, Izzy is also among the kindest. She believes in her dad even when no one else does, and she's convinced that it's up to them to save the sinkhole survivors for the sake of their grieving families. This is why it's so strange to hear Izzy get annoyed with Ella enough to remind her that no one asked her to go with them. This is prompted by Ella's anxious statements about their situation, which should have prompted Izzy to comfort and support her, instead of make her feel bad. "I'm not going to let you die on me." Lucas Hayes. While Lucas is initially introduced as an untrustworthy criminal who's quick to get angry, his time in 10,000 BC has changed him. The moment that causes him to re-evaluate his outlook happens when he learns that his mom Mary Beth shot his dad to protect him. The intimidating character is soon a supportive son again. He goes so far as to stay with his mom after she's stabbed, despite her insistence that he should go on to the light that will take him to 1988. His out-of-character declaration that he won't let her die on him is a sign that this change may soon be permanent and will hopefully result in a more compassionate version of Lucas. Sometimes people are judged too quickly. Veronica Castillo. Lily's insightful words to Veronica motivate her to help Scott look for a stray cow, which is a decision that's already surprising coming from Veronica. Up to that point, fans have seen her hurt Lily and Ty, light at everyone, and generally make bad decisions that negatively impact those around her. Scott's reaction to seeing her in the forest is justified, as even he thinks that she shouldn't be trusted. Her wise words about how she doesn't think that's fair that others judge people like her and Scott too quickly signal a positive change in her personality. "I wish there was another way." Gavin Harris. He may have only gotten the chance to prove it recently, but it's obvious that Gavin is a smart character and a skilled pilot. This is why it's frustrating to see him be uncharacteristically narrow-minded when Izzy confronts her about flying down there himself. His statement about there being no other way doesn't make a lot of sense for his character, who usually never gives up and knows that there's always more than one chance to tackle a problem. He doesn't weigh the risks of going down the sinkhole well enough to realize his plane would get shot down long before he gets close to the light. "I'm sick and tired of being your little BH." Scottus Ronnie. After Scott makes the terrible mistake of keeping Lucas's heroine somewhere in the forest, he's hounded by the survivor who's not convinced that Scott doesn't know where the stash is. Scott is often depicted as cowardly, so his initial terrified reaction to Lucas's intimidation makes sense for his character. It's when he decides he's had enough and turns around to tell Lucas that if he really wants to kill Scott, he should just get it over with, because he's sick and tired of being his little BH. It's a totally shocking and slightly funny statement from Scott, who seems to have a more courageous side after all. That's impossible. Eve Harris. Eve is among the first to realize that there's some complicated time travel involved in the La Brea sinkhole, pointing out to the other survivors that they're still in Los Angeles. More clues back up her hypothesis and seemingly convince her that they're somehow stuck in the past. This is why it's strange that she immediately questions Levi when he says Gavin saw they were alive down there. Eve should know by then that her impossible situation can and does get weirder with each new day they spend in 10,000 BC. "We're not getting out of here. My mom made sure of that." Josh Harris. If there's one thing Josh immediately establishes during the first few episodes of the show, it's that he's prone to taking his mom's side. This is seen in the way he speaks badly about Gavin, as well as how he, later on, despises Levi for his affair with his mom, but not Eve herself. The one time he turns against her highlights an uncharacteristic change in his perception of his mom, claiming that Eve made sure that they couldn't go back home. She's the only family he has down there, and he knows it, so he likely regrets voting her out of the camp in that episode. The message is the best thing that could have happened. Levi Delgado. Levi's love for Eve may have been what spurred him to accept the perilous mission down the sinkhole, but the intelligent character obviously prioritizes everyone's safety, not just hers. He's calculating, logical, and highly strategic, so his reaction to Gavin's warning about flying out of there is disappointing. When the drone bearing Gavin's warning reaches him, he takes it as the best thing that can help him and Diana figure out what went wrong. Levi's distrust for Gavin and uncharacteristic recklessness could have easily doomed half of the survivors if it wasn't for Mary Beth and Eve's subsequent actions.